Today I am building a massive temple to house the Warden. Since the release of 1.19, many have captured the Warden and built buildings to house it. Can I beat them all and build the most impressive Warden enclosure? Let's see! Welcome back to my survival world where I am building the tallest Minecraft base. In this episode I will raid an ancient city and build a gigantic below-ground temple to house the Warden. Finding an ancient city wasn't hard, they can be found below mountains in newly generated terrain. Raiding them, however, is far harder. My first plan was to just run through the city and break the shriekers that are needed to spawn the Warden, but it didn't work out too well. I was constantly running in the darkness, escaping the Wardens. But constantly calling for new Wardens by accidentally or intentionally placing torches. So I needed a new plan. For attempt 2, I brought wool with me and night vision potions. The plan was to slowly explore the city, never stepping away from the wool and breaking the shriekers. This worked far better and I was able to loot a lot of chests. After another journey to the ancient city, I've collected a lot of loot. We have all those books, including the Swift Sneak for the leggings. Even got it twice. And I also got all those different music discs, especially important. Other side, I didn't have that, and the disc fragments which can be used to craft the music disc 5. With that I should have all different music discs. I also got a little bit of Skulk, 1 enchanted golden apple, and Skulk shriekers, Skulk catalysts, and Skulk sensors. Even got the echo shard. I think that you can use it with the compass. Build the recovery compass, which can be used if you die. It would point you to the position where you last died. At least I think this is how it works. After having explored the ancient city, it's time to build a temple for the Warden. There's one problem, however, since the Warden gives the darkness effect, I don't want to have it inside a tower where I actually play most of the time. So instead, we're going down, way down, all the way to the bottom of the world. It also has the advantage that there's more than enough space to build an epic temple for the Warden. So this is the area where I want to start digging, down here. Problem is, deep slate is really hard to mine, even with a beacon. So I have to use a little trick. That trick is called TNT. Here I have several stacks of it, and I want to build a flying TNT duplication machine. However, that machine needs space, and to get that space I have to blow up a little bit of stone by hand. But there comes another problem in play. To actually blow up the stone I have to dig a few tunnels to place the TNT, so that would be step 1 of the building process. And that was all my TNT, and the hole isn't even close to as deep as it would have to be for a TNT duplication machine to operate. So I probably have to continue. Luckily, I repurposed my music disc farm into a gunpowder farm, and last episode while it was building it has continuously produced gunpowder. I also still have a lot of sand in my storage room, so I'll just take a shulker box, or better 2, and then produce as much TNT as possible. Okay, I have an additional 9 stacks of TNT with which I can continue. I'm also turning the mob switch on to prevent any hostile mobs from spawning, because that could get quite busy with all the dark spaces. Now I only have to remove the leftover pieces of deep slate and then I can continue with the TNT duplicator. As it turns out, that hole still isn't deep enough for the flying machine to operate without destroying itself, so... I assume this should be enough to lower the terrain by another 2 or 3 blocks. Honestly, I think I just made more of a mess than before and I probably have to clear out quite a lot by hand with a pickaxe. I believe this is all. It should now be deep enough for me to build the TNT duplicator. And if I've done everything correctly, the machine should start as soon as I remove this block. Honestly, I think I did it wrong. Yes, I think I did. I fear I did build this part, oh, it broke. It blew itself up. Maybe... Honestly, I thought 7 blocks of distance to the ground would be enough because I didn't expect the TNT to destroy anything further away than 7 blocks. Maybe it's because I'm dropping 2 TNT at the same time. Maybe I could modify the mechanism to just drop 1 TNT. I guess I'll try that next. I removed 1 TNT, so hopefully it doesn't explode anymore. And I even started the replay model, so I'm pretty sure it will work this time. Let's see. Okay, that's a promising start. Yeah, let's see if the return mechanism works. If it does, I would just go AFK and then wait for the recording to finish. That didn't work. This is also a great opportunity to find all kinds of different ores, but it's dangerous because of all the TNT, so in this case I only focused on the diamonds. I just ignored all the other ores. And with that, the digging is finished, or at least the machine stopped because it hit the wall. But I've created a gigantic hole, which is only visible because I use night vision potions. And I think that should be large enough to fit a sizable temple for the Warden. And this is what it looks like with shaders. Truly magnificent. The color scheme I want to use is the following: Skulk, warped quartz, gold, blackstone and black wool. For that I need tons of resources. Gold is pretty easy, I'll get it from the gold farm. The warped wood and warped quartz I get from the nether tree farm. Blackstone can be collected in the nether, that's no problem. Wool I simply take from my chests, I have a lot of wool. The only hard thing is the gilded blackstone, which has to be collected in nether bastions. There's one more block I want to definitely incorporate into the build, and this is the Skulk. And now all that's left is the concrete. With all the resources collected, I can now start building. everything is sorted into those chests, and the first chest I want to use is this one. This one, very importantly, holds the blocks necessary to keep the warden from escaping. So first to keep it in place, and secondly to use node blocks so the warden is always busy and, well, doesn't go back into the ground. Start with the centerpiece, essentially, where the warden will be stored. This is exactly in the middle of the tower. We are absolutely in the perfect center. Let's use a honey block that should prevent the warden from jumping, and it looks pretty cool. It fits with the other gold blocks and golden colored blocks in the Warden Temple. Then I simply place glass panes this way. The warden on one hand can't escape, and on the other hand those glass panes are barely visible. See, it's basically invisible. You can't see it, the warden will stay in place, but you probably won't be able to see why. Next part we have to do is first get rid of that stone tower. Next part we have to do is, let's go out, I don't know, 4 blocks. I think this is where I build the node blocks to keep the warden in place. The node block mechanism is done. It continuously produces sound that keeps the warden's attention, prevents the warden from despawning. And in the center I have a place to keep the warden itself. Next part of the build will be the floor. That will essentially show just how big the temple will be. This was the floor, but you might have noticed that there are some areas, like here and here, where the TNT didn't clear enough stone, so I have to clear a little bit of stone myself with the pickaxe, and I'm not looking forward to this. Now that I've cleared the areas at the sides from the deep slate, I can start building the walls. I have 2 different elements. I have these large columns here. They will consist of the polished black stone, garg, and warped fences. And next to them I will build arches made from the blackstone bricks. With that, the first arch is finished, and now I only have to build the other 71. Look at these beautiful walls and those beautiful copper doors. This one has already started aging, and they will continue to age while I'm continuing to build on the Warden Temple. The next part will be the columns. I've already placed the foundations for the 8 columns. And for the columns I will use stair blocks here. And the idea is basically I have alternating stairs between blackstone and warped stairs, and I continue this around a core of the column made from skalk. With the columns built, the temple is essentially separated into two parts, the outer part, which is the blackstone area, and the inner part, which is the cyan wool and warped wards area. In that inner part you can't be because you will get the darkness effect, and if you stay there long enough you will get attacked by the warden, and in the outer part you can stay and look at the warden. To finish that separation I will now build vaulted arches between those columns. The next part is building the ceiling. The ceiling again consists of two parts. There will be a big dome in the center, and in the outside there will be a different ceiling, and that's what I'm going to build now. The outer ceiling is done, and the last thing that is missing is the dome in the center of the temple. And now, with the big dome in the center finished, I've completed the Warden Temple or the Skull Cathedral or whatever you want to call it. The final and last part would be to actually capture the Warden here in the center. And for that I have to first build a little dirt structure with a portal and then go to the end city. Not the end city, the ruined city? The ancient city, that's what it's called. Go to the ancient city and capture the actual warden. Now that the temporary dirt structure here is finished, all that's left to do is get the warden somehow through the nether into this portal, and then it will be moved into the enclosure down there. Back at the ancient city I only have to find a shrieker and spawn a warden. There it is, the warden. Now I only have to move the warden back to the overworld. How hard can that be? And after only 5 deaths I got the warden through the portal. Yes! Yes! Ah! I captured the warden exactly where it is supposed to be captured. And now all that's left to do is remove that structure on top. I would say that's done. And it works great with the glass panes because you can barely see them. Warden captured. Wait a moment, I have to turn on the shaders. Yes. That's how I wanted it to look. The Skull Cathedral and the warden in the center. Constantly kept busy by note blocks working below ground. So I just wanted to add new tombstones to the graveyard here, 5 for the warden and 1 for TNT, with which I blew myself up, but the graveyard is filled, so I have to find a new solution. But worry not, because the Skull Cathedral offers 86 niches where I can place new tombstones. There's enough space to even put a sign in to say what I dived from. Yeah, that fits. Now I have a whole row of tombstones, 6 exactly, and there's enough space for 62 more, and I believe that should suffice for the rest of the series. That probably was the longest episode so far, and I can assure you the next episode will be a little bit shorter. I can also assure you that the next episode will be again building on the tower, on the top of the tower. I want to try to work a little bit more with redstone and try a few contraptions. If you like the series and want to see how it continues, then consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this episode, then leave a like. And if you have any suggestions, for example, what I could name the warden or what I can add to my base, then leave a comment. Have a beautiful time and goodbye.